In the heart of the ancient forest, a battle of epic proportions was about to unfold. The forces of good, led by the valiant and noble elves, were preparing to face off against a ruthless and merciless orc army. The tension in the air was palpable as both sides braced themselves for the clash that would determine the fate of the realm. As the first rays of sunlight pierced through the dense canopy, illuminating the battlefield, the elven warriors emerged in all their splendor. Their armor gleamed with an ethereal light, reflecting their resilience and unwavering determination. They formed a formidable line, their ranks unbroken, shields raised, and spears at the ready. On the opposing side, the orc horde assembled, a sea of grotesque and fearsome creatures. Their armor was crude, cobbled together from the spoils of war, and their weapons were jagged and stained with blood. The orcs bellowed and pounded their chests, eager to spill elven blood and claim victory for their dark lord. The elven commander, a seasoned warrior named Arannis, stepped forward, his voice ringing out across the battlefield. He rallied his troops, inspiring them with his words of courage and justice. The elven archers took their positions, bows drawn and arrows aimed true. They were the first line of defense, their arrows finding their marks with deadly accuracy, thinning the orc ranks. As the arrows rained down upon them, the orcs charged forward, their bloodlust driving them onward. The ground shook beneath their feet as they closed the distance with thunderous strides. The elven warriors stood firm, their blades glistening with anticipation. With a clash of steel and the cries of battle, the two forces collided. The forest echoed with the clash of weapons, the thunderous roars of the orcs, and the resolute battle cries of the elves. Elves and orcs fought with unparalleled ferocity, each side unleashing their fury upon the other. Arannis, wielding his gleaming sword, carved a path through the orc ranks, his skill and grace unmatched. His presence on the battlefield inspired his fellow elves, renewing their resolve to fight with unwavering valor. They pushed back against the onslaught, striking down orc after orc with swift and lethal precision. But the orcs were relentless, their sheer numbers threatening to overwhelm the elves. They fought with a savage determination, fueled by their lust for destruction. The battle became a chaotic maelstrom of clashing weapons and flying bodies. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a trumpet call sounded from the elven rear. Reinforcements arrived, led by the mighty elven cavalry. Mounted on majestic steeds, they charged into the fray, their swords slashing through the orc ranks like a scythe through wheat. The tide of battle began to turn. The elves, bolstered by the arrival of their brethren, fought with renewed vigor. They pushed the orcs back, inch by hard-fought inch, reclaiming lost ground. The orcs, sensing the shift in momentum, wavered, their morale faltering. In a final surge of strength and unity, the elves unleashed their full fury upon the dwindling orc forces. The air crackled with magic as elven spellcasters weaved their enchantments, unleashing devastating spells that decimated the remaining orcs. The forest seemed to come alive, leading the elves in their righteous cause. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the battle reached its climax. The orcs, broken and defeated, fled the field, their hopes of victory shattered. The elven warriors stood victorious, their spirits soaring with triumph. They had defended their homeland with unwavering courage and had emerged triumphant against overwhelming odds. As the elven warriors regrouped and tended to their wounded, a profound silence settled over the battlefield. The forest whispered its gratitude, acknowledging the sacrifices made in its defense. The battle had been won, but the war against the shadow was far from over. And so, the elves, their hearts filled with both sorrow and hope, marched forward, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For the battle against darkness is an eternal one, and the forces of good must remain vigilant, their resolve unyielding, as they strive to keep the realm safe from the encroaching shadows. As the dust settled on the battlefield, the elven healers moved swiftly among the fallen, tending to the wounded with skill and compassion. Their gentle hands worked tirelessly, binding wounds and administering healing balms to the fallen elves were carried to a sacred grove, and laid to rest for moments. Amidst the aftermath of the fierce battle, the warriors gathered to pay tribute to the fallen. They solemnly circled, their heads bowed in a moment of silence. Arannis, the valiant elven commander, stepped forward once more, his voice resonating with a mixture of grief and determination. He spoke of the lives lost in the battle, of the sacrifices made in the name of freedom peace. He honored their bravery, recounting tales of their valor and selflessness. Tears mingled with the dirt on the faces of the surviving warriors as they remembered their fallen friends and family. But even in their grief, the elves found solace in the knowledge that their fallen brethren had given their lives for a just cause. Their sacrifice had not been in vain. It had forged a path to victory and had preserved the light in the face of overwhelming darkness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the battlefield, the elves began to gather the spoils of war. They collected the weapons and armor of the defeated orcs, ensuring that they could not be used to sow further destruction. The spoils would be melted down and reshaped into symbols of hope and resilience, a reminder of their hard-won triumph. In the days that followed, the elven warriors returned to their homes, carrying with them the scars of battle and the memories of their fallen comrades. They were hailed as heroes, their names etched into the annals of elven history. But they remained humble, knowing that their victory was the result of teamwork, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. The battle against the orcs had united the elven people like never before. It had awakened a fierce sense of unity and purpose, strengthening their resolve to protect their lands and stand against the encroaching darkness. They knew that the war was far from over, and that they must remain vigilant, ready to defend their realm against any threat that may arise. And so, the elven warriors trained harder, honing their skills and mastering new techniques. They studied ancient texts and sought guidance from wise elders, preparing themselves for the battles yet to come. They knew that only through their unwavering commitment to justice and their unyielding spirit could they hope to overcome the forces of darkness. As the seasons changed and the years passed, the tale of the battle against the orcs became a legend. It was retold by elven bards, passed down through generations, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the elven people. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope could prevail, and that the bonds of unity and courage could overcome any adversity. And so, the elven warriors stood ready, their hearts filled with the memory of their fallen comrades and their eyes fixed on the horizon. They knew that their journey was far from over, that there were still battles to be fought and victories to be won. But they faced the future with unwavering resolve, for they were the guardians of light, and their duty was to protect their realm and all that they held dear.